In this video, we're going to check out the equalizer settings on your new Pioneer NEX in-dash receiver. Please note, this video applies to the Pioneer DMH-WT 8600 NEX, the DMH-WT 7600 NEX and 76 NEX, the DMH-WC 6600 NEX, and the DMH-W 4660 NEX and 4600 NEX. So from any source, and you can see right now I'm on the HD radio source, but it could be any source, we have a button right over here to select the equalizer. So we can touch that. That's the shortcut to get to the equalizer. We can also get to the equalizer this way. We can touch the settings up here, and we can come down to the speaker. That's the audio menu, and then we can choose the equalizer settings. Graphic EQ right here. All right, so in the equalizer settings, we have a number of factory presets, and you get to the factory presets by sliding your finger across the bottom here. So we'll slide this over to the super bass setting, and then over to the powerful setting. Here is the natural setting, and then we have vocal, great for listening to a ball game or talk radio, some such thing. Here's flat, and that is no changes to the equalizer at all. Then we have Custom 1 and Custom 2. We're going to get to those in just a moment. Over here we have the dynamic setting, and finally is vivid. You can choose any of these if you want. If this sounds good to you in your vehicle, you don't have to do a thing. Just leave it like this, and you don't have to change anything. But if you're using maybe the super bass setting, and you're thinking, you know what, I like the super bass, but there's a little too much bottom in my system, I want to roll some of that bass off, that's easy to do. Touch anywhere on the screen, and that opens up the full equalizer window here. So you can see the low frequencies. This is like a piano. The low frequencies are over on the left. The middle frequencies are in the middle. The high frequencies are over here on the right. So that would be bass over here on the left, mid here in the middle, and treble over here to the right. If there's too much bass in the system, I'm just going to grab this one and slide it down, the 50 hertz frequency, and slide that down to 0. Maybe I'll do that with the 80 hertz frequency as well. So we started with the super bass setting, and as soon as we made a change, you can see it lit up Custom 1 right up here. So let's go back. Here you can see we automatically went to Custom number 1. Now let's switch this over to super bass and watch the screen to see what changes. Remember, we just changed these two right here. So let's go to super bass, and you can see those two went back to where they were, and let's go back to Custom number 1. And you can see those two came right back. So if you hear one of these EQ settings that you like dynamic or maybe vivid, and you want to make a little change to it, just touch the screen. That opens up the full EQ window, and we can add a little more bottom into the system or take a little more back out, add a little more treble into the system or take a little out. Let's go back now, and let's go to Custom EQ number 2. So with Custom EQ number 2, we start with a flat curve, and we touch it to open the equalizer window, and you can make any adjustments that you want here. So you're starting with a flat curve and creating whatever curve that you'd like. If we go back, you can see we're on Custom EQ number 2. Let's go back to Custom EQ 1, back to EQ 2, and then here's Custom 1, and we made a few changes to it from vivid. Let's go back to Custom EQ number 2, open that up, and don't forget that you can just draw your finger across the screen to get the curve that you like. So here we are on the HD radio, and you can see the EQ setting is up here, and if we open that, we can see we're on the super bass setting, which is heavy on bass. We're going to hit the X to get back out of there, and there's a small representation of the equalizer curve right there. You can also use voice commands to change the equalizer. Alexa, open Pioneer and change the equalizer to flat. So she's changed the equalizer setting to flat. You can see the small representation there, but if I touch the EQ button, you can see that we've moved to the flat curve. I can do this with the EQ curve open as well. Alexa, open Pioneer and change the EQ to Custom 1. I'll hit the X, And you can see we're on custom number 1 up here. Alexa, open Pioneer and change the equalizer to Vivid.